everybody. This is Angela, and you're listening to Five Picks and a Chick featuring El Gato. This is the podcast that gives you five NFL picks for people who love football and friendly wagering. However, we are in the off season, so we're going to talk basketball. So this should be short. We definitely want to talk about a couple of games that are going on tonight and one tomorrow. So, hey, El Gato, before I get started, though, I wanted to just give our record from last podcast. I went 2-0, and my season record or off-season record is 7 wins, 11 losses. You went 1-1, and your off-season record is 6 wins, 12 losses. So we're moving it up, moving on up.
I hate the offseason. Give me football, and we're good.
Yeah. I am so ready for football. Hey, so my first pick is going to be tonight's game. It's the Warriors versus the Timberwolves. Timberwolves are at home. I'm going with the Warriors getting 10 and a half. And I know that, Steph Curry is out. It's an unfortunate thing that happened to him with this hamstring injury, but I still am going to go with the Warriors. Without Curry, really give Golden State much of a chance to win the game. But with Golden State, how they're playing on defense, I think that they're going to be able to keep this game close. Um, Warriors, I think, will slow the pace of the game and, make it kind of like a rock fight. Not to change the subject, but when I was a kid in my neighborhood, I got into a rock fight with our neighborhood kids. Yeah, I believe that. Okay, well, how dumb are we, right? I did get hit by like a 3 inch by 3 inch rock on the back of my head. Never told my parents, still have the scar back there. It's crazy. But anyway, I digress. I think that the Wolves are going to win this game by 5 or 6. So I'm going to go with the Warriors getting 10 and a half. What are your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I agree. You raised some good points regarding Golden State slowing down the game. Making it into a old style. Remember back in the early 2000s, late 90s, NBA, right when it was rare teams scored above 100. It's just a brutal defensive battle down in the blocks, limited outside shooting. Golden State's going to have to do that without their leader at the point. Not only scoring points but also distributing and running the floor, basically being the floor general. Timberwolves, I mean, they just can't go down 2-0. They just can't, especially with Steph Curry out. A friend of mine told me they need to be up 3-2. Going into the stretch of this series. I'm hoping it's 3-1, right? Because you never know when Curry comes back. How the NBA is, right? They get favorable the more elite teams, the more reputable teams, the teams the NBA wants advancing, they get favorable calls. We all know it happens, and it does.
It
But
does.
Gobert with the Wolves, getting back to the strategy of the game, Gobert, needs to step up and manage the defensive side of the game and keep Golden State off the board. So Randall needs to check Butler. Needs to neutralize him. You neutralize two guys with Golden State, which is Draymond Green and Butler. Who else does Golden State have to score the ball or to be on the defensive boards? Of
Yeah.
course, and Edwards needs to, I think, just take it to the hoop. Get Golden State in foul trouble early and often. Start setting the pace of the game. I think the Wolves are going to really show out in this game. That's why I'm taking them minus 10 and a half. I'm going to go with the Timberwolves on this one.
Yeah. Speaking of Gobert, the last series, he was like hot and cold. One game he was terrible, the next game he was really good. So I'm rooting for the Wolves to win this series. I just don't think that they'll cover this game, but I'm
A lot of
hoping,
points.
yeah, it's a lot of points, and I'm like I said, they'll still play. Warriors will still play defense, so I
Yeah,
think it'll be close.
good enough.
You got a second pick for us?
I do. This game, this series between the Cavaliers and Indiana is really shocker, right? Cavs going in as the number one seed in the East. Now they're down 2-0, losing two games at home to Indiana. I think Indiana, from what I've seen, all the clips, videos, highlights of the games, it seems like they're just out hustling the Cavaliers. To me, it does. Cavaliers, led by Donovan Mitchell. I mean, he's producing, but who else is coming up offensively in clutch situations to win the game? The last game they had, all they had to do was execute a rebound and keep Indiana off the 3-point line. And what do they do? The defensive guy backs off, and Halliburton hits that 3-point at the buzzer,
Yeah.
right? Wins the game. Jared Allen, he's good defensively for the Cavs, but it seems like whenever he touches the ball, he can score. He only had 7 touches last game, so maybe they need to give him more touches inside. Make more points using the inside game. And Indiana's Indiana. They hustle. They have two good players offensively, and Halliburton, Nesmith, and Turner on the defensive side. They may be a tough out for the Cavaliers. A friend of mine told me the Cavaliers have 2 or 3 injured players that have been productive most of the year. I don't follow the Cavs really that closely the whole year. I really wasn't aware of that, but that is a concern moving forward. So with the Cavs being down 2-0, if they go down 3-0, the series is statistically basically over. So there's no way they can lose this game. So the -2.5 for the Cavs, I'll take that one.
All right. I'm going to go with you on this game, Cavs -2.5. Like you said, this is a must win for the Cavs. They cannot go down 3-0. I don't think any team has ever come back from a deficit of being down 3 games. They are dealing with a bunch of injuries that include Darius Garland, who's a really good player for them, Evan Mobley, who's really good as well. A couple of their starters that's going to make a difference in this game, but I still think the Cavs bench will come back or come in and not let them go down 0-3 because, like you said, done. Put a fork
Yeah,
in it, they're done if they go down 0-3. So I'm going to rely on the fact that Cleveland has to win this game. So I think that they will, and I think that they will cover. They're going to need more support from the rest of the team and not rely so much on Donovan Mitchell. He's
yeah,
really good, but he can't do it all by himself. So they're going to need the rest of the team to come through. This is not a good stat on the Cavs side, but including the playoffs, Pacers are 5-1 against the Cavs. So it's not going to be an easy task. It's definitely going to be hard to beat the Pacers and cover.
yeah.
But I'm still going to go with the Cavs. I'm still going to rely on the fact that they have to win this game.
They have to take it one game at a time. Like maybe this is a game 7, elimination game.
Yeah.
It's going to be that crucial because, to your point, 3-0 is not a good spot at all. Almost an impossible spot to overcome.
Yeah. Yep. So go Cavs -2.5.
All right, I'll take that one too.
Hey, guess what, Gato?
Tell me.
6 days until the NFL schedule is released.
I'll
Six
take it.
days.
And then we'll know all the matchups, right?
Yep.
We can plot and gauge who can come out of the gate at a good start and who's going to have some challenges, right? Those first 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Sometimes the NFL kind of puts schedules like that together.
Yeah.
Really tough at first. They lay off mid and then lay it on again
Yep.
towards the end of the season. So yeah, these first 2 or 3 games of the season are always interesting as far as matchups are concerned. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
gonna be
We have
exciting.
our annual trip to Vegas, and I'm excited to see who will be playing when we're there.
Interesting.
Just because it makes it exciting.
Yeah, it makes it exciting. That way we can see this is gonna be a damn good game. We
Yeah.
better keep an eye
Yeah.
on this or games because there's usually about three solid games. They're all good games, right?
Yeah.
We all put friendly action on everything, but there's like 2 or 3. There's usually that Sunday night game that is usually a very exciting game, and yeah, we close out the week and then Monday night,
Yep.
right?
Yep. And guess what else?
Let me guess.
Guess, guess,
Count,
guess.
countdown to NFL.
Yes, sir. 118 days.
It's gonna pass by so quick.
It will. We're going to get under that 100 and then it's going to fly.
I mean, look, we're practically what, mid-May, almost mid-May already next week.
Yep.
Seems like
Yep.
the Super Bowl was yesterday, but it was 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Yeah, it'll be here before you know it, especially with summer. Summer always flies by, so
Yeah.
it'll be here before you know it.
We'll be scanning the web pages for training camps and
Oh, yes.
making moves. The rookies that were drafted. Who's showing out, right? We'll
Yep.
learn all that here pretty soon in about the next 2-3 months. For sure.
Yep. Hey, speaking of the draft,
Yeah.
what happened to Sanders? Shador.
Man, Daddy got involved, and NFL front offices said we don't want to deal with Daddy.
That's
Right? I mean,
unfortunate.
but it was unfortunate. I think he's a good player. Maybe not an elite quarterback. There weren't many in this year's draft, I don't think. Not like before, but I found it puzzling. Cleveland would take two quarterbacks. They took Dylan from Oregon, and in a surprise move, they took Sanders.
Yeah.
The next pick or the next two or three picks, and we shall see. But that was painful to watch, right?
Felt
It
bad for the
happens
kid.
happens every year to somebody, right? Uh, several years ago, we saw Aaron Rodgers, cook in the draft room, never being drafted. We saw that happen to Manziel, right? Who
Tom
picked him?
Brady.
Who picked him? Cleveland
Yeah.
picked Manziel, right?
Yeah.
Tom Brady was almost Mr. Irrelevant, or was he? Right? He
Uh,
was picked very late,
yeah.
but yet he's
I
the
think he
GOAT.
went in the 6th round, Tom Brady did. And then Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, and he's
That's what I
doing
was
really
thinking.
well.
Yeah,
So
no, it's a starter. You never know. You
you
never
never
know
know.
with these players, but it was painful to watch
Go
because
out and prove yourself.
that's right.
I was telling Jeff that Shador wasn't there, so he had to have known that he wasn't going to go the first round.
Good point.
Because
Good.
wouldn't you think that he'd be there?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Probably got the vibes from
yeah,
players because I'm sure the agent makes those inquiries, right? Hey, are
yeah,
you drafting my guy so he can be there?
yep,
We want him to walk on stage with the commissioner and put on the cap. And a lot of teams probably said, you know what? We don't know.
yeah.
It's
We
best
may
maybe we
pass
just
on first
yeah.
round. Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But he's got a lot of flash to him, and maybe those teams just didn't want to deal with that.
I don't think they want to do a Dion.
Yeah, true.
First, making terms of who he wants him to
Oh,
play with.
yeah,
Come on, helicopter dad. This is teach your boy how to be a grown man and let him speak for himself, right?
yeah. Well, I'm glad he was drafted. I would have really felt bad had he not been drafted at all. So,
Imagine.
oh my gosh, terrible. But I'm glad he got drafted.
Yeah. To the
Any final
Browns.
thoughts?
No, no final thoughts really. Just there's some crucial games coming up in the NBA as we discuss, and I mean there's other series. Knicks, Celtics. I mean, come on.
That's a
Celtics
crazy series.
down 2-0. That they can't figure out the riddle of Brunson or the Knicks defense. Talking about the Celtics now. They're in a we talked about rock fights earlier. They're in a dog fight, alley fight,
Yeah,
in an elevator fight right now with these Knicks, and the Knicks aren't backing down. They're like, okay, bring it.
yeah,
And they're playing some good ball. So
yeah. I
it's
know in
going
the
to be
last, go ahead.
no, it's going to be interesting how that Knicks Celtics series turns out moving forward with the Celtics being down 2-0.
And the Knicks are going to be at home next 2 games. So that'll be very interesting. Hey, I said last podcast, all I got to say about the Knicks is Jalen Brunson. That dude can play.
He's a dog.
And
He's a
he doesn't get flustered like when they're down 20 points. He just keeps grinding. Yeah.
Every possession.
Yep.
One possession. You can't get all 20 points at one time, so you might as well get them 2 or 3 at a time.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Chip away a little bit at a time.
Make a defensive stop and get back to work.
Yep.
So yeah, I like that guy. I like the way he plays.
That'll be a good series to watch. Well, if you've made it to this point in our podcast, we just want to thank you. Be sure to tell your friends about us. Also, hit the subscribe and like button on our YouTube channel at Five Picks and a Chick. And you can find us wherever you get your favorite podcast. Hey, El Gato, I'm not sure if we'll be back in a week or 2 weeks, but we'll be back. And as always, thank you to El Gato for being part of Five Picks and a Chick. 1, 2, 3, bet. And that's a wrap.
That's